toxicity levels of 50 nanograms per liter. And we're seeing those trend down. Our regulators are asking us for more proof to show that it really has come down to that point, to the nominal zero that we were hoping to get down to. So that's good news. Unfortunately, as I say, pollutants are starting to show up. So the reason for this kind of program is still there, and we've got our work cut out for us to keep moving. But at least in terms of diazone chlorpyrifos, this is an environmental success story. And I think it's a good feedback to say that in Office of Pesticide programs, work on these things together, you actually can have a real impact on the environment. But it takes a fairly draconian measure, like almost a complete ban, in order to get there with something that's as ubiquitous as a pesticide, unfortunately.
Okay.
Question, maybe observation. There's been a lot of work looking at. I know they did a survey. They went to they call it kitchen table surveys. They went to homeowners' garages and looked at that and talked about behavior. What you're seeing is, you're right, whether it's diazonide, a few years ago, diphenthrin, tomorrow, you're shown that we just substitute one product for another as a contaminant. My question is this. If you look at the work that was presented yesterday, where at least bag sales of fertilizer with insecticide that Scott's represented, and I look at our own company's use of diphenthrin, it's a very, very low percentage of what's applied to lawn. Of all the products we use, insecticides are very, very low. My question is, where do you think it's coming from?
I think I guess the question is, if soil might be being used in any particular situation, how is it still getting into the creeks? And I'm hoping the answer is not what we found out on chlorpyrifos and diazone, which is, as I said, it was about, we calculated it would take maybe 0.2% of active ingredient getting away and into a stormwater system to cause toxicity in a local creek. That means that the world's best education program is not 100% effective. You still have accidents even on top of that. So I'm hoping the answer is not that it just takes so little to cause a problem that it's very easy to hit that tipping point. But I'm not sure. The stormwater system, unfortunately, is a very efficient system in moving water away from places where people are using pesticides into the local creek. As somebody said this morning, the stormwater does not start, the system does not start in the stormwater down at the corner of the block. It starts in your driveway, probably outside your garage door, if you have a driveway that tips towards the street. And anything else that is connected previously to that spot. So I'm hoping that's not the answer, but I'm just not sure really.
Well, I guess I'm wondering whether it's really improper disposal of concentrates as opposed to off-site movement of
Yeah, I think our working hypothesis is that we have to assume that it's caused by a little bit of all those activities probably. And so we have to work on use and disposal, we have to think about IPM, we have to think about proper use, following the directions, of course. We may be thinking much more strongly about homeowner education, where the homeowners really can handle this stuff. That question is being raised more and more now.
That's a good question. Time for one more comment. David, did you want to?
Yeah, I guess I'll throw in, because was one of the persons involved with the work that we've done on diazonide, and we had a pretty good guess that was driving a lot of the runoff from diazonide was application for ants on patios, which is the application of a hard surface, which way they cause a lot. Well, the ants are still going to be a problem. I'm pretty sure the pyrethroids are looking to replace it, and I'm guessing, I don't have the data to say this, but that same use would be a likely one for generating movement in the water from the pyrethroids, because high surface, if it has a chance to move.
Yeah, I mean, you're going the same place we are too. We're actually talking to our Structural Pest Control Board, which is a different agency than our Department of Pesticide Regulation in California, saying to them, we need to talk to you seriously about structural pest control around the perimeters of buildings where you have hard surfaces and you're using pyrethroid products for, our most common bug is ants in California. Because we think that's probably the biggest, if you had to pick one thing, that probably is the biggest thing. But in the end, we probably can't justify scientifically only focusing on that, so we focus on all uses, at least for now. But I think if I had to guess, I would say that's probably where we're going to go. Yeah.
Geoff, I think you did a great job not backing away from the impossible task.
Yes.
Obviously, there's a really great
It's a career, yeah.